Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dissecting Fiction podcast. I'm Vinny Murphy.
I'm Christiaan.
And today we're going to do something kind of fun. Our most successful episode ever was the one we did on the Captain's Marvel, all the different variations of Captain Marvel. Within that episode itself, we mentioned that there were probably more alternate Captain Marvels that we didn't cover that were pretty specific. We tried to stick to the more relevant ones. But since that was so successful, and since I'm just constantly reading weird articles, Christiaan, I found two more.
I would say I'm surprised, but, you know, Captain Marvel is the superhero that keeps surprising.
So I'll start with the one that... Well, I'm going to start with the man. Mick Anglo. Mick Anglo, whom, if you listen to the other episode, you'll know, quote unquote, created Marvel Man, who was the most prominent of the Captain Marvel ripoffs, eventually becoming Miracle Man in the US. And if you want to know more about that, we get all into it in that episode. What I did not know is in 1954, when Mr. Anglo had written this Miracle Man story, this Marvel Man story, he also wrote another Captain Marvel. He was called Captain Universe, the Super Marvel, wink, and was published by another company in the same year, in 1954. They also used the science Captain Marvel thing again, which killed me, because it's not even, like, now he's, like, ripping off... I don't know which one's the ripoff. I can't tell you. But Captain Universe exclaims the words Galap. Galap standing for Galileo, Archimedes, Leonardo da Vinci, Aristotle, and Pythagoras.
Jesus.
So there's only 2 issues of this one that exist. Kind of most notably, Captain Universe shows up in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen eventually, alongside Stardust, who is also, if you haven't ever read up on Stardust, maybe that's something we can do in the future. Also, just batshit crazy comic. But he's fairly unremarkable outside of the fact that it's somehow Mick Anglo within the same year ripping off Captain Marvel and himself.
That is, yeah, it's like a copy of a copy of a copy. That's bizarre. And, like, each time it gets just a little more distorted.
So that's not the end of it, though. Like, he creates this Captain Universe who is essentially the same character as Marvel Man, but, changes the name and writes some different stories. It gets super weird after this. So in 1958, Anglo gets picked up by a Spanish publisher, Firma, who want him to oversee the creation of a bunch of superheroes for the Spanish market. He creates a character named Super Hombre, which we don't really have to figure out what he was ripping off there name-wise. But apparently, though Superman was called Super Hombre in South America, those trademarks didn't go over to Europe, so he could use the name. And apparently, Super Hombre is essentially just another Captain Marvel figure. Like, he kind of looks like Superman sometimes and kind of looks like Captain Marvel others. It's a little weird. I'm seeing a few, different pictures of him. While this is all going on, in 1960, Anglo creates another Captain Marvel-style character named Captain Miracle, who yells the word El Kareem to change. And, of course, El Kareem, if you were to say it phonetically backwards, would be miracle. But what's really funny about this is while he's at Firma, he basically is just ripping off his own Marvel Man stories and having them redrawn to look like this new character, Captain Miracle.
That is so weird to hear. So, what is the rights problems with these characters? That, the publisher just flat out owns them and you can't take them anywhere?
I don't even know if anyone was paying attention. And the reason I don't think anyone was is because in 1965, Anglo debuted Miracle Man, which I think is, it has to be how Marvel Man turned into Miracle Man in the US. Someone had to have known and thought it would be funny to do this. So in 1965, he debuts Miracle Man, the Superman of unlimited power, who was Super Hombre in all but name.
Huh.
He yells out the word Sundisk, which was the emblem that is on his chest, and that turns him into the hero Miracle Man.
But so does he look radically different, or is it just the costume?
So remember when I was saying that Super Hombre had like the two different costumes that I saw?
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's just the second Super Hombre costume that is the Sundisk. It sure looks like a Sundisk. We'll post some pictures of this on the website. Miracle Man had a sometime sidekick named Supercoat, which I did not research because I just realized I wrote that down and that I need to figure out. But that's apparently about the end of Anglo's career.
I was about to say, it seems strange. Like he keeps making the same mistakes over and over again, and it's like really attached to this character.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And like I said, like I stumbled upon this. I found this out in a book called The League of Regrettable Superheroes that I ended up obtaining, and it's a cool book if you have a chance to check it out. But yeah, I just don't understand completely how he got away with any of this either. Even back then, if he was literally having stories redrawn, like they must have just not cared.
I mean, I guess so, because like this character was in a really weird like position, right? Especially when it's overseas and everything.
Yeah, and the fact that, we all know how prominent Marvel Man actually did become. So it is jarring that there was so much more of this going on. Let me update a little bit because as we were talking, I started looking things up and found a few more pictures. So the Miracle Man character is a variation on that one costume that I saw Super Hombre wearing in the book with the Sundisk. It's like almost an inversion of colors back to the Super Hombre original, like red and blue that looked like Superman. It's just this weird, incestuous, like constant ripping themselves off thing that I feel like I have to track down some of these issues now. This is going to get weird. As I said, we're going to keep looking into this stuff. If we find anything more on this, if I start now collecting these bizarre comics and can tell you more about what's going on, I certainly will. As I said, I stumbled upon this in the book, The League of Regrettable Superheroes by John Morris. Really a fun book, especially if you want to learn about some obscure characters. Some of them in here aren't terribly obscure too, but well-researched, good information. As always, also check out ToyStoreGuide.com. They're going to help you find a lot of your local toy stores, comic shops who really need your support these days. You can find us all over the internet. Just type in Dissecting Fiction into Google. We're going to pop up. We're on pretty much all of your favorite social media. If you like this, give us a thumbs up. Give us a 5-star. Follow us. Subscribe. Whatever options you have, you know what to do. I don't have to patronize you. I'm Vinny Murphy.
I'm Christiaan Kutlick.
And thanks for listening.